with him one of the top performers in the business as a tag team wrestler since the start of the decade, while establishing himself as one of the top singles wrestlers towards the end of it, with him one of the consistent drawing performers throughout the run. Scott Steiner finally won the WCW title for the first time last night, going over Booker in the pay-per-view main event in a move years in the making, with Steiner in his follow-up title win promo saying that he's still looking for a fight after taking out Booker and Sting while beating Goldberg in their last match, bringing out Ric Flair to congratulate Steiner, saying that he's now the top guy in the company and he's got a special opponent for him to face on the Starrcade pay-per-view on the way to the building, with Steiner asking if it's Andre before calling out Austin, and Rock saying that he used to beat up Austin when he was in WCW and Rock won't dare show up here if you smell what he's cooking, as Flair hyped the upcoming mystery opponent to be on the same elite level as Rock and Austin before Stevie Ray came out looking to get Steiner back for taking out Booker last night, setting up a Steiner vs. Ray title vs. career match for the main event, with Steiner's first segment with the title jumping over 900,000 viewers to the overall show peak 2.8 rating. With Vince McMahon publicly confirming last week that they are out of negotiations to buy WCW due to interference from their new TV home in Viacom, after at one point a deal with Turner was all but done. Eric Bischoff was back in the game as the favorite, with him reportedly meeting Brad Siegel in LA during the week to discuss a potential deal, as after at one point Mandalay Sports Group was the company financially backing the move. Eric's rumored new group is production company TriStar to head negotiations with Turner Broadcasting to buy the company, coming after Eric worked with the group over the last month by overseeing the crossover WCW vs. TV series Battle Dome, with talks of Bischoff planning the new WCW home base to be in Las Vegas, similar to the start of the Nitro era when TV tapings took place in the Disney MGM studios. New tag champions Nash and Page opened the first opposed quarter in one of the most talked about segments of the night, with both again going against management orders, bringing up Scott Hall, this time going a step further with them calling out the company to bring him back, with the crowd, as they did all throughout the tour in Europe and on the pay-per-view last night, chanting for Hall throughout the segment, with Nash and Page teasing his return as if it's part of the planned angle, while naming themselves the Insiders in anticipation for the return of the second outsider, followed by the Thrillers coming out to the Wolfpack music, with the building popping for the possibility of Hall showing up, setting up a Nash and Page vs. Jindrak and O'Haire tag titles match going 4 minutes to peak the night for WCW in the opposed hour with a 2.4 rating. With the Armageddon pay-per-view just 2 weeks away, with him still not having a set opponent, Kurt Angle opened Raw saying that things are getting out of control in the WWF between the Austin Rikishi Triple H car attacks and Undertaker choke slamming him off the stage last Monday, saying that it's not what he signed for when becoming a wrestler, and if the violent act continues he's gonna take the title home and not defend it at the next pay-per-view, bringing out Mick Foley to agree with Kurt on things getting out of control, while announcing a Rock vs. Rikishi #1 contender match for Angle's title at the Armageddon pay-per-view, along with Kurt defending the title tonight against an unnamed opponent to kick off Raw at a 4.1 rating. In what became a weekly segment on the show at the exact same time slot since the new creative crew returned from Australia, continued on the night, with Goldberg again coming out as a surprise opponent in the second quarter at 9:15, with the idea of putting a Goldberg match in the usual weak spot on the show to maintain as many viewers as possible, going over Reno before Luger attacked him in the post-match angle, as with Russo remaining on the sidelines with complications from the series of concussions he suffered between June to October, with his latest doctor evaluation prohibiting him from traveling until the next evaluation on his condition in January. Ed Ferrara continues to be the main script writer of the shows in a committee with Terry Taylor, Disco Ballrash and Banks, with Russo having close to no influence on the show since mid-October, with everything on hold until the status of the company and its future owner would be made clear. As Raw's second quarter after the lower-than-usual start picked up over 600,000 viewers for a series of Kurt Angle backstage segments and a Hollies vs. Test and Albert six-man tag match going 5 minutes, opening a 4.5 to 2.1 rating margin. Both shows stayed steady next, with Scott Steiner going to the limousine to confront his next opponent, along with the Jeff Jarrett vs. Rey Mysterio match going 5 minutes, while Raw had a Billy Gunn vs. Eddie Guerrero rematch going 6 minutes after Gunn won the IC title on SmackDown last Thursday, as with talks of it starting a few weeks back and being confirmed publicly during the week with her doing a newspaper interview. Stephanie McMahon, with no credentials, experience or any kind of creative reputation, was reportedly being put in charge of overseeing the WWF TV creative crew for Raw and SmackDown, raising questions from every side of the business on the move, which was seemingly done for no legitimate reason other than her last name, which will give Vince stability in the position whether qualified for the role or not. With the limousine arriving outside the building with Flair yet to reveal the contender for the title, Scott Steiner was set for his first title defense in the main event against Stevie Ray, with Ray's career on the line, seeing the match jump over 400,000 viewers to a 2.3 rating, the highest-rated main event quarter on Nitro in almost 2 months, as Steiner and Ray went 7 minutes, with Steiner going over Ray to retire him, closing the show with the reveal of Steiner's Starrcade opponent ending up being Seed, making his return after months out to set up Steiner vs. Seed in 3 weeks. Raw closed out its first hour placing The Rock vs. Rikishi #1 contender match at around 9:50 p.m. in a rare Rock match during the first hour, jumping over 700,000 viewers to a head-to-head peak 4.8 rating, going 3 minutes with Kurt Angle on commentary interfering for the finish, laying out Rock with him having the match won with the sharpshooter, with the rest of the quarter seeing Foley looking for Angle backstage and a Radicals Hardys brawl to hype their 6-man tag match coming up. Raw had an unusual top-of-the-hour quarter, with the show in a commercial break while crossing into 10 p.m. the moment Nitro went off the air, while in the middle featured Undertaker vs. Kane going 4 minutes, with Angle legend Christian interfering to attack Taker and eliminate him as a contender to continue the show-long angle, followed by another break right after, with Raw picking up around 700,000 viewers in the commercial-heavy quarter to open the unopposed hour at a 5.3 rating, with Foley waiting for Angle in his locker room after interfering in the top 2 matches of the night to book him to defend the title against Steve Austin in the main event, setting up the first ever Angle vs. Austin match in Austin's first title match in over a year. with the WWF on a string of huge pay-per-views in the past 3 months, with SummerSlam Unforgiven and No Mercy averaging close to a massive 600,000 buys. The company announced in its financial report for the quarter between August to October 2000 an increase of over 27% in revenue and 38% in profit, jumping over 35% in pay-per-view buys headlined by 3 Rock title matches and Austin's appearance and return to the ring, and a massive increase of over 160% in TV revenue due to the new contract signed with Viacom compared to the previous deal with USA Network. As with the WWF still booming across the board heading into what is said to be the biggest money event in its history at WrestleMania 17 in April, 2 key points that raised concern since the report was compiled in the last month was the recent viewership drop for Raw and some of the house show ticket sales slowing down from the peak levels. Raw's final quarter picked up to a show-high 5.6 rating, first seen Rock attacking Angle, Edge and Christian on the way to the ring minutes before the main event to end with Foley throwing them out of the building, followed by Austin and Angle in the first ever match between them going 9 minutes to cross into the 8-minute overrun, maintaining the 5.6 rating to close the show, with the post-match seeing Triple H making his TV return after a week out selling the forklift car angle at Survivor Series to cost Austin the match, as Raw, which saw a routine transition show between pay-per-views, drew another routine 5 rating overall, averaging 6.4 million viewers on TNN compared to last year on the same week drawing 7.6 million on the USA Network, with the 5 rating the same rating it drew in 4 out of the past 5 weeks, with hopes of picking things up heading into the Armageddon pay-per-view and more so at the start of the new year.